Today we're going to try to fit this into that. 71 Charger, meet your future 12 valve Cummins 47 RE with a trans brake. All right, I know I've been curious for years, I'm sure a lot of you guys are, how long is a Cummins with a two-wheel drive? Because that kind of determines what vehicle you can fit in. You know, I've looked at some little like MG midgets, I've looked at some Gremlins, I've looked at all kinds of little cars, Fox body Mustangs. I'm wondering how long is this setup? So I'm sorry about the noise, we're gonna work in shop today, but right here on this front timing cover, the Cummins right about 31 inches, the back of the adapter, you know, you're about 33.5. Overall length, we're right here at 6 feet with the two-wheel drive tranny and the long tail housing. So you need about 6 feet for this drivetrain to fit in there. That's a long freaking assembly, but it's well worth it. So let's see if we can make it fit. So we're gonna push the tail housing down a little bit and fish it there. I assume the oil pan's gonna get hung up somewhere on this tie rod, but you know, let's stab it in there and see what happens. So. Okay, let's come down a little bit. Coming down. We'll tip in there. We're doing okay. Good old heavy Cummins, man. He'll fit in anything. Keep going. Yeah. Yeah, just like we thought, the oil pan's getting caught on that tie rod. But drag link, not too bad though. Let's bring it down more just to see what it looks like when it's sitting there. Keep coming down, we'll let the weight rest on the car. It'll be okay if we bend the drag link. It'll get fixed someday. All right, perfect. Huh, it's sticking up out of the hood a little bit, huh?
Pretty much resting on the car now.
Yeah. I'm surprised it's not even squatting that much. Still got suspension travel left. Okay, so at this point, you can see the engine actually fit pretty easy. However, it even has clearance on the trans tunnel and some of that, but it's sticking above the hood. So if you were gonna run this on like a street car, we'd have to cut the K-member out and drop it. Probably have to modify the oil pan. And since this is a drag car, we want our weight, you know, closer to 50-50. And if you look, right here's the center line of the front axles or the front tires. Look how much of the Cummins is forward of that. So this would make it really nose heavy. So we're gonna end up cutting the firewall and jamming this back as far as we can. But right now it looks like the oil pan's hidden, so we're gonna pop it up. We're gonna pull the oil pan off so that we can maybe slide it back further without the oil pan in the way to kind of get a good line on the firewall and what we gotta cut. Hey, good thing we pulled the crank out of this. It's a lighter weight. Still probably 500 pounds though. All right, go ahead and come down, I'm ready. Going in there nicer without that oil pan on there, huh? Okay, so now we pulled the oil pan off, we were able to get this back further. We're basically hitting the bell housing on the firewall right now. The trans is still tipped downhill just a little bit more than we want. So, and you can see the center line of the engine right here between the valve covers. It's just about, you know, right in line with the axle, maybe an inch back. But to be honest with you, I want the center line of the axle, you know, here or maybe even up here to really help. So we're going to use this now to kind of mock up the firewall, what we need to trim. We're just going to kind of eyeball down the side and make a couple big marks with a Sharpie to see about how much of the trans tunnel we think and the firewall we need to cut out. And then we're going to go on the inside and see what the heck's in the way. I think there's an MSD ignition box and trans brake and all kinds of random stuff in there that we're gonna have to pull off the firewall. But like I said, we don't need any of that where we're going anyway, so we'll pull all that stuff off. What a mess. Enough room for Cummins. Okay, we're hitting the trans tunnel right here. If we come back though, we need to drop the engine further back. So we're gonna have to cut the trans tunnel now. Okay, so we got the firewall cut out. We got a bunch of the transmission tunnel out so that we can set this engine way back. And when it came to positioning the engine, it looked like the factory K-member and the torsion bar suspension setup just wasn't gonna work for us. It just didn't. The motor would fit, but not set back where we wanted it and at the right height we wanted. So I started looking at drag race front suspension, coil-over setups, all that, and I got looking at this car and how heavy it is, and some of those guys, when they do big wheels and wheel stand stuff, they come down hard and the front end crumbles. So I wanted a strong front end under this. Well, lo and behold, a 2003 and newer Crown Victoria comes with an aluminum cross member built in. The suspension's all self-contained. And so after doing a little research on the internet, I found the cheapest way to get a Crown Victoria front end was to buy a Crown Victoria. Now, as you know, in most states and countries, when you're an organ donor, you can't take the organs out of the person until they die, obviously. You can't kill somebody to take their organs. Well, I feel the same is true with cars. You can't take organs out of a car when it's still alive. So we had to kill the Crown Vic. So we got the front end ripped out of the Crown Vic. It was a lot of fun, just, taking the bullets off. Meyer's helping me and he's just like, well, do we have to save this or do this? I'm like, no, I do not care about this car. All I care about is the front end. And he's like, well, what about the brake lines? He's trying to undo it. I'm like, no, cut the brake lines. Like, we do not care. We just want the front end. So we got the front end pulled out. We got the factory suspension pulled off this thing and rolled it under, and it actually fit really well. Like, even the steering linkage is gonna dang near bolt up. I mean, it's like, It's amazing how well this front end fits. Anyway, tune in next time as we finish buttoning up the front end and getting an engine actually mounted with some motor mounts in here as this project moves along. And thanks, we'll see you next time. Wait, why did we pull all this lightweight stuff off the front of the car to put a heavy Crown Vic front end on? Well, rest assured, we weighed all of this factory steel parts, 284 pounds. The Crown Vic front end, 286 pounds. So that's right, we added 2 pounds, plus coilovers and a sway bar, we only added 2 pounds. So really, we might have even saved 5 pounds.